So, welcome again to the 40 steps by the great master that ultimately helps us to discover that true nature, which is permanent peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. These 40 steps demands that we should not change anything outside, but we should change everything inside to allow the changes takes place in the world outside. For the last, I think, 4 sessions, we were understanding that how to drop I am the body, I am the mind, and I am the intellect. Let me explain it through physics. We were just talking of the physics. So, when I say I am the body, my sense organ perceives the body and identifies that I am the body. Now instantly going into quantum physics. The great scientist, I would say, starting from Einstein, Erwin Schrödinger, if I'm speaking rightly. Erwin Schrödinger and Schopenhauer. They say, no, you are wrong. The moment your sense organ sees anything outside, that energy becomes a particle as a body. Are you understanding that? So we have to understand a little bit of quantum physics. The Newton's era was totally dominated by atom consist of particles, subatomic particles. But what the scientist found that these particles also acts as a wave, as an energy, at the same time. First understanding. It's a theory in physics for understanding the truth of the phenomena in the world outside. Then they said that electron as a particle is present at 2 places at the same time in the form of a wave. So it means what? It means what? So one of the great master, or I would say scientist, what he said? What he said that whatever we see through the sense organs is nothing but it is a projection into our consciousness. That is what we have been saying for the last 6,000 years. The world is simply a projection. World appears true, but it is not true. Where are you sitting? You will say, I am sitting at my home. So you are referring to physical. I am the body. Now I am returning to that. I am the body. So I will take now to a fascinating. So their wife of a Schrödinger, or perhaps Schopenhauer, they both were deeply interested in these teachings of the Upanishads, especially. That is the Eastern wisdom. So he had a girlfriend. You know, everyone has a girlfriend and every girl has a boyfriend. But when you live at that higher level of consciousness, you are researching something. So I'm repeating as it is. So that Irish artist Sheila, with whom he had an affair, they broke up, and the Sheila May was also extremely wise and intelligent, wanted to understand the nature of reality. You know, sometimes what happens, the knowledge reveals. That's what I have been saying you. That you have to do meditation until the time when the knowledge starts revealing unto you. You will see those principles are flowing into your consciousness through the mind. What he said, what she said, wrote after breaking up. I have copied that. I looked into your eyes and found all life there. That spirit which you said was no more you or me. It is us, one mind, one being, one love, all your life. But we are two now because we broke up. Are you getting it? Let me repeat it again. Think of it. She said, I looked into your eyes and found all life there. At that moment, they were not two. That spirit, that consciousness, which you said was no more you, no more me. It is only one being. That is one of the beautiful understanding of meditation. And he found those answers in the Upanishads, in these teachings. So today's lesson is that my master used to say that, you know what is the true nature of a reality? Yes. Are you settled in yourself? Yes. Do you experience that love, that peace, that happiness, that wisdom in you? Yes. There is no need to argue. Even if the other person likes to defeat you, let that person defeat you. You will never feel defeated because you live in that presence. So in this step, the master says that what he says, the topic is learn how and why to drop the tendency to argue with lot of what the wise people. You have to understand the principle. So why we want to argue? Because the I thought, ego is hard to go, should be treated with understanding. You see, I was just talking to Stephen, about a guy. He says that he is busy, he will not find time. But now, should I argue that you are most important than anything else in the world? No, we should not argue. Because if I'm arguing, then it means what? I differentiate from the other guy, claiming that, look at this guy, he is not doing meditation and I am doing meditation. I feel liberated, he is still in bondage. The pride comes. The master says, this pride will block and destroy all the previous steps in the journey of meditation. Many people normally talk to me, you see that? No, I don't have time. Okay, very good. You don't have time, so don't practice. Why should I argue? But when they come up again, I have lot of problem. I said, understand the cause of the problem. I am the body. I am the mind. I am the intellect. You take pride in it. Pride comes from the I thought. I thought makes your ego stronger. And then you have 100 arguments against this path to find the peace and happiness. Do you see now the reason? You can ask the question, okay, if you claim and if your masters claim, if the tradition claims that you can go into permanent peace and happiness, why everyone is not following the path? You already have an answer. So the master says, don't argue negatively. Even we have not to put forth this argument. Why? Because the ego will take over us at any moment of time. Argument is installed by I thought. There is a difference between argument, logic, and reasoning based on the principles. Based on the principles. Look at it, there was a Newtonian era, and then there is an Einstein era. Theory of relativity came. So the previous argument dropped by itself. But they continued to follow to understand the truth of the world outside the natural phenomena. So we should keep track. Self. With reference to the self, let me ask the question. And let me find the answer. That is not an argument. So when this argument is installed in the I thought, in the intellect that takes pride in the self-discovery. How it takes pride? You see, I have been doing the practice for 40 years. You are just a kid. No. That is another pride. Why it is another pride? Because we all have the same essential nature. There is hardly any difference between the teacher who is teaching and the students who are learning. What is then the difference? The difference is the teacher perceives the one reality. I refer to the Srila, what he said, you and me are not two, essentially one. So I'm pointing you that you already have. That is the job of a teacher in the Easternwisdom. That is the only job. No, it can invite examples, it can explain the principles, but the only job the teacher has, teacher knows perfectly that you and the teacher are essentially one. That is the standpoint of a teacher. And what is the standpoint of a student? That I have yet to discover that reality. Hence, I am different from a teacher. Do you see? We are living into the same moment. That is the only difference. So, because the student cannot see the reality, the teacher points the reality again and again and again and again. But the teacher is 100% sure what lies within him also lies within all students. In that state of meditation, the teacher, yes, but sometimes teacher is strong, teacher also rebukes. And I can tell you, my masters, I was well-read person long back, almost 35 years ago. I knew all these teachings. I have read it couple of times because my father was a great scholar of Sanskrit. So I knew all these things. For 2 years, my master tolerated me because I used to interrupt in between. Idea of a pride, an argument. I know what you're teaching. So I had, your ego has an idea that, how come he attracts thousands of people? So after 2 years, my master patted on my shoulder and said, I understand that you have read all these texts. But I am teaching what is not written in the text. Even though I am teaching the same principles. Because he is expressing through his own personal experience. That makes a big difference. Did you love in the past? Then you know whether it is love or attachment. If you had no experience of love, then you live your life totally dry. So the Master says here that understand when you have to. One thing is that you need not to argue at all with anyone, and especially with reference to the principles of the Eastern wisdom. But before we put forth any question, it should be with reference to the self-discovery. We never argue why the A is written like A. Then the Master goes deeper. Have we ever argued why A is written like A, B is written like B? It is there. So when we say principles, laws are laws. I do not understand. Let me understand it. Are you getting it? For example, the concept, man is a man. Why man is a man? Why the man is not named as a woman? It's a wrong argument. I'm opposing myself. So we have to learn this and apply in our daily life. No, I know you don't love me. It has been almost 20 years with you. You don't know what the love is. I want to argue. I'm attached. I have some clinging. Apply that in your life. You'll see your mind becomes so light and it becomes, you say, oh, it's such a small thing. So what will happen then? Then you will express love. Previously, your mind was complaining, nobody loves me. That's okay. I have understood. Love is within me. Let me express that love to everyone according to the relationship. So what is going to happen? You have changed. Your perception has changed. You have calmed down. Your stress level has gone down. But here we are not talking of dropping the stress. We are talking that we want to find out that reality which is present in all of us. So this is the 24th step. One thing you should understand that these 40 steps are the summary of more than I would say 1,000 texts. So 1 hour and talking of even 10 to 15 minutes is not enough. But still, we should understand that why the entire journey is so much structured and organized, that it takes care of every part of our life, whether it is personal life, professional life, social life, educational life, spiritual life, life of relationship. So I'm just giving you a very brief summary and the pointers. So what is going to happen after these 24 steps? I would say 8 steps explains what are the problems and the challenges we face in the journey of higher meditation. First 4 steps, we say that it's a kind of involuntary penance and austerity. And the next 4 steps focus on voluntary austerity. What are those attitude, actions, thoughts, and the feelings blocks the higher progress in meditation? So that we are going to take up from the next session. So look at the entire structure of these 40 steps. Do you see that 40 steps? The first 4 steps, the foundation of a knowledge. The next 4 steps, how to apply that knowledge in my personal, professional, and social life. Then gradually it moves into the second verse. Second verse, it says how to nurture the entire life towards self-discovery. It doesn't mean that you have stopped doing whatever you are doing. You are doing a business, earning money, earn more money. Maybe. I may also be benefited by it. The next 4 steps demands that what exactly is the commitment and the sincerity. So we have done the 16 steps, and then the last 8 steps, we have reached to the 24th step. How to change the entire thinking. Those thoughts which are not required for my progress should be dropped completely and replaced by those principles that can help me live in harmony and happiness in my personal, professional, social life, and also the inner discovery. Now think of the modern idea. Close your eyes, focus on the breath, and it becomes mindfulness. The answer is no. I've been repeating it again. That is why the Buddha put the mindfulness as a 7th step in the 8-fold path of mindfulness. The first 6 paths, he compressed everything. So that compression is nothing but the first 32 steps. With that idea, let us start our journey. Close your eyes, and stage 1 of today's practice. Close your eyes and close your eyes, and first step of the practice, look at the position of the body. You are aware of it, you know it, you experience it, and looking deep inside the heart, what do I see? Space, emptiness. Okay, discover, become aware of the calmness. Even 1% of the calmness there. 1% of the calmness. I'm not saying 100%. And you will definitely experience. You have been doing these practices. So when you experience that state of calmness, in order to maintain awareness of the calmness, do you see the language? I'm not saying that you make an effort for the calmness to continue. Calmness is already there. In order to keep continuity of awareness, we move to the second step, being comfortable. Comfortable, looking at the neck joint, feeling, being present, and experiencing sensation. Sensation comfortable, and steadiness. Shoulder joints, sensation, being comfortable and steadiness. I believe it will do if I don't explain too much. I have been explaining how to enter into being comfortable. Can I simply say, look at the hip joint, experience sensation, being comfortable and steadiness, entire body. Look at all the joints of the body. And being comfortable, sensation and steadiness. Third step, being carefree. Can I simply say, and you are carefree? You separate one you, that one mind, behind all the thoughts, feeling and sensations, and other mind is experiencing thoughts, feeling, sensation, images, whatever is coming. One of the great masters says, step back. Thought comes, step back. That is another way to understand. It's a knowledge practice. We are not doing anything. Another great master says, Sri Aurobindo, that the day when you realize, experience that all these thoughts are coming from outside. What? Answer is yes. All these thoughts are always coming from outside. And you are aware at a point where you don't allow the entry of any thought. You will experience the mindfulness. The fourth step is being casual, being natural, being natural. And in that step, the stage 1 is over. In the stage 2, we'll purify the mind and gain a natural focus to go within. So looking inside the belly button. Good. And in the space, body is steady, maintaining being comfortable, being carefree. Start breathing short in the quick breath from both the nostrils into the belly. Continue. Short, quick, gentle breath. Keep looking inside the belly button. Why I change the centers? Because the mind should not be habitual in any meditation at all. It should be spontaneous. Continue. Long. Short. Long breath, little longer breath. Maybe a hissing sound is coming, that too is good, but not too fast and not too low. But the mind is looking inside the belly button. That is the center of our action. Continue. See what happens. Don't allow the mind to say, I cannot do it for a longer period. What is that? That is what we discussed today. I am the intellect. And the intellect says, I cannot do it. Who is this I? Are you the body? No. I am the body? No. So it means what? Let me continue doing it. a lot of steps, lot of things, lot of ways to apply these principles. And now stop this and start breathing deep, silent and slow. First you inhale into the belly, then into the rib cage up to the throat. And then exhale in the same manner. Just check 2 or 3 breaths first so that you are clear what you need to do. And while inhaling, the breath is deep, silent and slow. While exhaling, start the humming sound. Do you remember we discussed that humming should influence your forehead? We did an experiment placing our hand on the forehead and the chest and the belly. So when we do the humming sound, the entire region of the forehead vibrates. Continue, my friends. While exhaling, louder, longer and deeper humming. While inhaling, deep, silent and slow breathing. Continue. 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 Sorry. Now leave this step. We'll continue in the stage 2, moving the mind with the breath inside the spine, from the crown of the head to the tailbone, and from the tailbone to the crown of the head, with the deep, silent and slow breathing. Now pick up what the senses perceives. Senses perceives the body. Senses perceives the spine. But in fact, it is not. So what we are doing? That is what I'm saying you. Moving the mind inside the spine in the space and dropping Om Shanti 5 times. During inhalation, during exhalation. So until this point, even the quantum physics can easily work. Everything is energy. So you drop Om Shanti. After that, you see the space clearly. Then you drop Om Shanti. So when you drop Om Shanti, is merged with the space. It becomes one. Whatever is visible through the sense organs has no validity. See that. That is what I am saying you. That is a very subtle principle. Again, you see the space and you are dropping Om Shanti into the space. It merges while breathing in and breathing out. You should have a clear understanding what we are doing. I never hide anything. Why? They are your principles which you don't know. That is the simple thing. In Easternwisdom, there is no intellectual property rights. Shanti. Sometimes we forget. Why we forget? Because we have other thoughts. From where these thoughts are coming? There pose a big challenge. And that is what we are going to cover in the next 8 steps. Step by step. And now, Nyasa, the stage 3 becomes a play and a fun. As you inhale, move the mind inside the right arm from the shoulder to the fingertips in the space within. And as you move the mind as you exhale, mind moves from the fingertips to the shoulder. So, the car is your breathing. You, the mind, is the driver. And the highway is the space within. So, when you find the highway is totally empty, what it is indicating? It is indicating you are progressing. We'll understand also those points by which you understand. By which you understand? You are progressing on the path. And now moving the mind inside the left arm. You know, everything is there outside, but still in that awareness of the world outside, you still can discover that signs empty highway means empty mind. Empty mind. And now inside the right leg. Breath, breath vehicle, mind driver, movement highway. You don't see anything on the highway? Yes, be sure you are there. You have a glimpse of it. And now inside the left leg. And now inside the spine. Mind moves with inhalation from the crown of the head to the tailbone, and enduring exhalation, the mind with a deep breath moving on the highway, the emptiness. Do you see, in the previous practice we dropped Om Shanti 5 times. But in this step, we are not dropping anything. We want to explore. Is there anything in that emptiness, deep inside? Science says energy. We say, who knows this energy? I am. So I must know who is this I am. How simple it is. Nyasa, third stage. Now leave this. Allow the breath to be normal. Look deep inside the head, in the space of the heart, in the space that we have discovered. And anytime any thought enters, just superimpose Om Shanti. Anything comes. I have explained by an example that I am your mind and I come to you and I say, you ask me who you are. I say Om Shanti. What are you doing, Om Shanti? Where are you going, Om Shanti? Why you have come, Om? Similarly, any thought comes to you, you question and drop Om Shanti. Why? You don't need those thoughts at this time. So what happens? We all have a deeper layer of the mind where no thought, no problem, no pain, no pleasure can enter. Should I make you clear further? Do you remember we started the first step with discovery of the calmness within? And that calmness is totally expressed here. So when we are superimposing Om Shanti on anything that comes to the mind, we are removing the curtain. That is what we are doing. Beautiful. And now leave this. Om Shanti also will move into the stage 5. Casually, naturally, as if you are doing nothing. You go to the crown of the head inside and drop Om. Be there as if the Om melts into the infinite space. Experience that state. Then move down inside the forehead, become aware of the space and casually Om. Let Om merge into that space. Inside the heart. Om, belly, Om. You're too far from the world outside in the field of awareness. I, now see, acting as a particle, electron, means I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect. And when this Om melts away, I'm nothing. There comes a revelation. doing nothing, looking at the breath going in and out, feeling the sensation, and you maintain awareness that there is no change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. In that state of sensation, relaxation, and stillness in the body, the breath is also calm, the mind is living within, too far from the electron I have just explained. Electron means separate identity. I am body, I am mind, intellect, and you are living within. So the mind should not return to its old habit. That's why we are aware of the breath. Did you reveal the meaning, understanding, and application when we say breath mindfulness? Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind to the right hand. The mind will say, no, I don't want to lift it. Why it says? Because the mind is living within. And in a non-meditative state, why the mind lifts the hand instantly? The mind is unconsciously, habitually, unorganized way present in every cell of the body. And that is clear now. Move the mind on the left hand. Check. Raise both your palms. Place it on closed eyes. Take your own time. And when you place the palms on your closed eyes, then open the eyes, you see in front what? Quantum physics. And in that physics, you know your experiences. So we have two things to go: sharing your experiences and question and answer. So, how are you, Tanya? It's quite interesting. You come, you go. You come, you go. You forget me?
That's because of my phone.
Oh, because of your phone. No, it's very good.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sometime you remember me.
Yes, you hear.
Sometime you remember me.
Girish, I remember you constantly, but Zaksana says, Tanya, you see is your priority? If you chose last week your work, again, it doesn't mean that I didn't have time. I think that, again, because it was priority of my mind. And I understood after that, oh, I do not have time. I did not have time. But I understand that that's priority. And
She
what
is
about
very good.
today?
Yeah.
Uh, what about today? With the help of this meditation, so first of all, frankly speaking, while we were moving our minds to the spine, I was thinking about my job because now I'm at working place, but I locked myself inside.
Okay.
But in some time, I really lost and I got rid of all my thoughts. I just stayed inside me with me.
Very good. You see that sometime you lose that awareness which causes the trouble. Why? Because you attend the meditation sometime. No, I'm just kidding.
Sometimes
She is very good, I know. I can make that statement. Very good. How are you, Terry?
I'm good. I'm good. You know, there was loud noises coming from upstairs. But that may stop. They're taking apart somebody's bathtub.
Okay.
Very distracting, but that's nothing compared to the medication that I take makes me have these uncontrollable movements.
Yeah.
And so I was wondering, because to me I feel that I'm not doing it. So who is doing it? That's what I keep trying to explain to people.
So
I'm not doing it.
Yes, when I say I'm not doing it, when it becomes clear in your mind, in the intellect, in a meditative state, then you reveal who you are. Then you know who am I. That is what we are doing. That is what we are exploring.
Yeah. And if the quantum physics, as much as I was understanding that, which I can't really tell how much I understood it, but it seems to me that I should be able to take my mind and just realign all these molecules and have this not happen. Like I should just be able to have my thought just
She's very wise.
change this.
You see, Terry, that we have to use the very conclusion of quantum physics, which can complement what meditation is. So what I said in the beginning, we don't need not to go to the equation. That when I see you, I feel I am separate from you. So these two are the facts perceived by my mind through the sense organs. What quantum physics says? These facts are not facts. They are possibilities. We are not two. We are only one. So when that oneness is realized, not only in you and everywhere, is what is the goal of meditation. We'll talk little more in detail later. Let us go to David and Jerry. How are you?
That was a very deep meditation for me. When we started for the arm, the right arm, I just got vibrations throughout my pulsing in my right arm, which was kind of interesting. And then I kind of remember going through the other limbs, but not really, because I was just gone somewhere. And then the dropping the Om from the forehead, I remember It was this buzzing, just this nice buzz in my head the whole time.
Indeed, it
And
is
I
deeper.
can't really, yeah, I can't even really remember the rest of the meditation. It was just, I was just
Flowing.
in this bliss somewhere. It was very, yeah, cool.
Oh, beautiful. Indeed, it is deeper state. And we will continue the journey until we find, as Terry said, who am I? How are you, Jerry?
I'm good. It was good from the beginning. Just quiet, calm, and during the rapid breathing, lots of warmth and heat. And then from the humming, I just kind of settled, I think, or didn't notice that, just kind of settled everything. And then the Om Shanti was a very kind of just absorbed in this space.
Beautiful.
So after the Om Shanti, it just continued this deep space.
You see, you explain deeply your conscious experience in 3 major steps: purifying, dropping of Om Shanti. So that tells the mind is becoming intensively aware of what is going on within. That's a beautiful. How are you, Stephen?
I'm good. It was, I'll describe it as extremely intense from multiple levels. Similar to how Girish just explained it. It started out when I first closed my eyes to begin the meditation. I felt I was on a certain level, and just the intro level to where we were going with this experience. And then as soon as we started the belly breathing is when all the action took place. I saw streaks of green light in my space. As we progressed through the meditation, the breathing through the top of the crown to the spine on the various stages just became more and more intense, that I felt this energy come outside of my head, but as it goes down to my spine, it actually hurt my spine. That's how intense the energy was.
Yes.
Not where oh my God, I'm in pain, but I could feel that pain. And then I saw orange, and then I saw red, and then I saw yellow, and then completely goes to white light, and my arms. When you said to end the meditation to focus on the hands, it was almost as if they were in my legs. That's how heavy my hands felt.
Beautiful.
And I didn't notice it until that moment in time. So it was a great experience.
It's a beautiful experience. You see, normally these experiences takes place, people claim, in Kundalini meditation. So the Kundalini meditation has been not following the exact tradition and the steps. But I want to tell you one beautiful thing here. We all know that, as far as we have read, Kundalini has to do with moving the energy from the tailbone to the top of the head. And ultimately something awakened, and we feel that we are awakened. That is a normal thinking notion about it. But the lower center is guided and dictated by our craving, our obsession, our past impression. So even if you practice for 50 years lifting that energy from the lower to the higher center, it still remains a challenge. So the tradition in the Eastern wisdom says, forget about the lower center. You start awakening from the higher center. You start with the inner peace and the calmness. to take over the mind and ignorance. That brings these results. So there is another way of awakening to it, and that awakening takes place not from the bottom to the top, but from the top to the bottom. You take the help of the higher consciousness in the state of calmness and peace that you experience within, and at that moment when you move the mind in the spine, these experiences takes place. So remember that everyone has a different experience. Don't screw your mind. No, I don't have this experience. It means this is not my cup of tea. That is not the way of meditation. Everyone has a different experience. They should have it. If they copy it, if they imitate it, my master used to say, where is your expression? And it must come from the revelation. My master used to explain differently. Samir knows, and I express differently. What we do, Daniel, in the modern world, copy the same. The world, the science is made for replication. What is that replication means? Anything in the science. You find the Ford car in US is exactly the same replication you can find in India or elsewhere. That is, what do you mean by duplication and replication? Look at the existence. We all are made unique. Everyone is unique. How are you, Daniel? How are you, Daniel? Yes.
So it seems that there is a connection today the best. So I was saying that for me that was very quiet meditation, and I have to say that I try to focus like week by week, and it's very quiet and calm. And I also very happy to hear your experience, guys, when you share your experience and what you are feeling during meditation. This is super interesting to hear. But I also noticed that I lost a kind of expectations, because when I joined, I expected that something spectacular will happen during meditation. And now I notice that I don't know even when, but I don't really care too much about that. I will just wait, whatever comes, it will come. And I don't have any expectations. Like, I'm just happy having this calm, quiet state of mind. And that makes me super happy.
What a beautiful explanation. Remember, expectations reduce the joy in life. You pick up any principle in the Eastern wisdom, it will take you to the higher level. And that is what you did. You said you lost all the expectations. Means what? You are losing the influx of thoughts that carries the element of expectation. It makes the mind to go within easily and stay there. But at the same time, you enjoy listening to the experiences shared by others. That is also the quality of the mind and the intellect we need to succeed in meditation. How are you, my friend Samir?
Sir, most of the times I have same experience. Means there is no difference in the experience in one meditation, another meditation. My body becomes totally stiff. It becomes very heavy, and I just enjoy it. I see the darkness inside me. I keep on looking at the thoughts, and it means I enjoy. I forget all the pain in my body, everything, for half an hour.
Very good.
After that time, I realize that there is pain here, or there is a little bit scratching here. That's it. So
very good. You see that what happens, and now you see the importance of the 3 steps that we have been understanding. The first step is I do not know, let me know it. But when I should know it, when the mind is clearly aware and attentive, what should I know? I should know the principles. A is written like A. That is the principle. So in Eastern wisdom we say, peace and happiness are your essential nature. Now you know the principle. Do you remember this principle in stress and in anxiety, in anger, in blaming and complaining? No. Why no? Because I do not understand it. So let me understand it. Second step. You see, that is why the master and seeker relationship is held at the highest. So you don't understand, let me understand. Now I understand and again enter into the life. Happiness is my essential nature. And someone is blaming me. You remember, happiness is my essential nature. Nobody outside can ever take my happiness. So what is going to happen to your mind? The other guy is still blaming you and you are happy. You're happy. So this is the first part of the meditation. That is why we say Shravanam, Mananam. Mananam means I do not understand. Let me understand it. So now I won't use the word trick, but I explained you the quantum physics, the very summary. What is that summary? And that affected your mind deeply, those who heard it clearly. What I said? That I see you. When I see you, my mind says I am separate than you. You are separate from you. You are sitting too far from me and I am too far from you. Now quantum physics says this is not true. I am not talking of Eastern wisdom. One electron can be found at two places. That is the principle. I'm not going into equation because that will be totally dry physics without consciousness. So our journey is matter with consciousness, where the matter interferes. So quantum physics says everything is energy. It means two fact has disappeared. So that attacks the mind. Oh, I am one with you. It makes the mind feel calm, softer. It melts away. All your blame and complaint drops away. Do you see that when you start contemplating and think, I am you and you are me? Are you getting it? How can you hurt your teeth which has just hurt your tongue? You don't start, with a hammer that let me teach you a lesson. You have crushed my tongue because teeth is also you and the tongue is also you. Are you getting it? Teeth is also you and tongue is also you. You see? So we explain the principle with reference to who am I. Science explains the principle with reference to the matter, not me. So the science cannot help you to discover who am I. Only the Eastern wisdom and the meditation will help you to know, to discover who am I.